Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins of the Marvel DC Multiverse, and we are now at episode 349. And I'll be doing my review on Morbius. So, spoiler alert, if you have not seen Morbius, I strongly suggest you do not listen to this episode. You've been warned. So, movie takes place at a hospital in Greece. Of course, Michael, who is 10 years old at the time, Michael Morbius, of course, welcomes his surrogate brother, Lucian, who he renames Milo. They bond with their shared blood illness and desire to be normal. Their adoptive father and hospital director, Nicholas, arranges for Michael to attend medical school in New York while he focuses on caring for Milo. 25 years later, Michael publicly declines a Nobel Prize for his work with synthetic blood. Michael's colleague, Martine Bancroft, discovers he has secretly captured dozens of vampire bats from Costa Rica in the hope of splicing their genes with his own to cure his condition. After informing Nicholas and Milo of his planned experiment, Michael receives funding to outfit a private mercenary vessel in international waters with his equipment. While the cure works, it transforms Michael into a vampire. Michael kills and drains the blood, drains the crew of their blood after they attack him out of fear. He kills and drains the crew of their blood after they attack him out of fear. But once his bloodlust subsides and he regains his senses, a horrified Michael erases all CCTV footage of his experiment before contacting the authorities and jumping overboard. So Michael returns to New York and discovers he has superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, and echolocation. He subsists on his synthetic blood until it gradually ceases to satisfy his needs. FBI agents Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez investigate Michael's victims and deduce his involvement. Milo learns that Michael is cured, but becomes, furious when Michael refuses to cure him as well. While checking on a hospitalized Bancroft, Michael finds a dead nurse, drained of her blood. Believing he was responsible, he attempts to escape before being cornered and arrested. In prison, Michael is visited by Milo, who offers to use his wealth to free him. Upon realizing Michael took his cure and killed the nurse, Michael escapes to confront him. And unrepentant, Milo confesses to his crimes and urges Michael to embrace his powers as he has, of course. Unwilling to hurt his brother, Michael flees. Michael meets Bancroft to explain what Milo has done before acquiring a new lab and developing an anticoagulant to stop and kill Milo. Let's see. He also plans to use it on himself since he will become unable to resist his bloodlust. Stroud and Rodriguez find footage of one of Milo's attacks and release it to the media, of course. So Nicholas realizes Milo and pleads with him to stop, angered by, but he is, of course, angered by Nicholas. Proceeds preference for Michael. Milo wounds and forces him to call Michael, of course. Michael watches Nicholas die while Milo attacks Bancroft. Michael returns to Bancroft, but she dies in his arms, and he drinks her blood. Michael confronts Milo and summons an army of bats to restrain him and inject the anticoagulant, of course. So Milo dies, and Michael flees off with the bats, mourning his loved ones and embracing his identity as a vampire. Unbeknownst to him, Bancroft is revived by her newly developed vampire powers. And of course, in a post-credit scene, Adrian Toomes is transported to Michael's universe by a spell. Assuming that his transportation involves Spider-Man, Toomes approaches Michael and suggests that they form a team. I'm going to have to assume that that's the Sinister Six, of course. But I had a feeling that the multiverse played a role in a small part in this film, because in the trailer we saw Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes, greeting Michael. So we were kind of wondering, like, okay, is this part of the MCU? At first it was, but then they decided, okay, we're not going to do that due to conflicts between Sony and Marvel Studios / Disney. So, but obviously they took a little, play out of the Disney Marvel Studios playbook as far as the multiverse goes, which is a perfect way to get Adrian, the Vulture, into the Spider-Verse, the Sony Spider Universe, or the SSU for shorts. So now the Vulture is in the Venomverse, or the SSU. Is a perfect opportunity to get perfect opportunity to start a Sinister Six, because Marvel Studios ain't gonna do it. So, and another thing too, with this multiverse thing going on, I think this is a perfect way to get Carnage back in into the Venomverse, by having a variant. So that's a perfect way to start a Maximum Carnage. Having Woody Harrelson's Carnage come from another universe. But obviously, but back to the Adrian Toomes, being transported into Michael's universe. Obviously, in the post-credit scene, there was a scene from Spider-Man No Way Home where there's like a purple portal where villains were going to be coming out. So of course he does a spell, but then we realized that not only did the spell transport the variants, the Spider-Man variants, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but also villains from their time. So not only were they transported, and of course Eddie Brock as well, but the symbiote, part of the symbiote was left behind. So, but anyway, not only were they transported to their own universe, however, the spell was not 100% stable, obviously, because if it was stable, Adrian Toomes would have been transported into Michael's universe. So, or the Venomverse rather. So obviously that spell didn't work 100% like it was supposed to, because you would think that it would keep Toomes in his universe, but obviously it transported him to the SSU or the Venomverse or whatever. So, but now I clearly understand why Wong warned Strange not to do that spell, because he said it was too dangerous, and he knew very well that it would create multiple universes as well. So now, at least we know what caused Strange to be transported into into Michael's universe, because Strange did that spell that was supposed to, which transported the villains back into their times, and and Spider-Man variants in their times as well. And of course, allowing everyone to forget who Peter Parker is. But everyone has a memory of Spider-Man, but they don't know but everyone forgot that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody's like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. They're kind of ruining everything. I was like, no, not really. Sony has full rights to the Spider-Man character, so if they want to put, Michael Keaton's Vulture or Adrian Toomes into the Spider-Verse, they can do that, pretty much. So, and they ain't giving up those rights anytime soon, so. But yeah, I think that will work out nicely, to do their little Sinister Six. And eventually, and the way I look at it, eventually, Tom Holland's going to find his way into the Venomverse / the SSU, and of course, Michael's universe as well. So yeah, he's going to find his way there at some point because, the symbiote that was left behind is eventually going to bond with Tom Holland, and then he's going to want answers as to where it came from. And then I guess that's where Madam Web comes in and explains to him, hey, that symbiote is not from your universe. It's from a different universe. So yeah, eventually he's gonna find his way or get transported to the Venomverse, where he's gonna find Adrian Toomes and capture him, and of course bring him back into his universe. So, but eventually Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man are eventually gonna cross paths. And who knows, that spell probably is going to transport the variant Cassidy at some point. Same, I guess, where I look at it, the same actor, but just from a different, same actor, Woody Harrelson, just from a different universe. So you got these villains coming out from different universes, and Wong made it very clear that the thing about the multiverse, the problem with the multiverse, or the scary thing about the multiverse, is you don't know who or what's going to come out from the other side. So obviously, strange spells what is going to cause, what made this situation even worse. So yeah, the multiverse is obviously going to play a role in both, the MCU and the SSU as well. So, but yeah, keep a lookout and embrace yourselves, because this looks like it's going to be very fun to watch, But anyway, the way I look at it, the movie was decent. I give it an 89. I would say an 89 out of 10. Sorry, an 89 out of 100. So, like I said, it was it was decent. I'm not saying it was good, but it was decent. I like how they introduced Morbius's character. Sorry, I like how they were able to introduce him, of course. And the actors were not bad they weren't bad at all. So, I wouldn't say there was a whole lot of action, but it was a decent amount. So everything was, where I look at it was, balanced enough for me to feel comfortable watching it a second time. So 89 out of 100. I think that Jared Leto did good. He has the look of Marco Morbius, so I think it'll work out for him, in the future. So hopefully they, but I'm not going to say, of course there were mixed reviews, but in my opinion, I think it was decent. So, just like the Venom movies, I thought they were decent as well, because I wouldn't mind watching them a second time. So, the special effects were good. Of course, the CGI was always good. Special effects, the writing. So, and I like how dark it was. I wouldn't say it was completely dark, but it was slightly dark. So, that's pretty much it. So, That concludes this review. Feel free to visit us, like us on Facebook. We're available on iTunes, Google Play Music app, Spotify, and of course, YouTube.